As mentioned in the video title, today I'll discuss the recent events involving Liam Payne. His sudden death was unexpected, with few details and many theories surrounding it. And today, well, in this video, I will tell you everything I found out. At least I will be giving you an explanation that I found about some doubts that people had on the internet. And well, yes, stay if you want to find out how things happened and also about the details that exist to this day. Recording this video is difficult for me as a big One Direction fan. I'm still in shock and disbelief, but let's begin with... Well, before we start, hello, good or bad girls. Let's start with this video. Let's look at this case. Well, as you already know, on the 16th of October, 2024 at the Casa Sur Palermo Hotel in Argentina. Well, this event happened that Liam Payne died. I tell you, I was in shock when I found out about this because I was taking a nap. I wake up to the news of Liam. I just woke up from a nap. With the news that Liam Payne, the member of One Direction, Susanna. Oddly, Liam was posting stories as if everything was normal just an hour prior. People wondered, how did this happen? You know, like he was posting an hour before, normal stories, and suddenly after this happens, it is known that many of those stories that he posted were pre-recorded, or maybe even all were pre-recorded because... Firstly, the chronology of things. For example, his last story was this one with his girlfriend, and that photo his girlfriend had already posted on August 29th on her Instagram. So it is known that he was posting some things that were not of the moment. For example, even another one where he is seen talking to his girlfriend, and his girlfriend had already returned 2 days before to the United States. He was alone in Argentina. There are also many witnesses, not of when that happened at that moment, but of how he was minutes before that happened, since there was even a call to 911 where the person said that he looked very upset, breaking things, like it was a bit of a disturbance for everyone in the hotel lobby.
There were also people staying there who even took photos or recorded him.
Honestly, I haven't seen any of those recordings and all that, but I do know because I did see photos where he looked quite upset in the lobby, and then they took him up to the room, supposedly for him to calm down. But sadly, what everyone knows happened. Then terrible images came out of how his room had ended up, a complete disaster, the television broken. Besides that, we saw certain things and certain substances like on a table that later many people came out to explain how it works, the function of each little thing that he had, the function of each substance. And well, we realized that they were very strong things, and more if everything, if he, for example, I don't know, did all that at the same time, that was going to cause a euphoria in him. Terrible. You know, that was going to cause like an experience out of his reality, out of the ordinary. He was going to lose for a moment, like his normal state was not going to be the same. And then he was going to fall into a quite sad state, because that's what happens with many substances. You know that at the beginning you are euphoric and then you feel bad. And it seems that that's what happened with him. Apart from that, many people said that they were very strong things, that you could lose consciousness consuming that because, well, the body does not resist. And well, there are two theories according to the officials. Well, there could be three. That the first would be that someone did it. The second, that he did it accidentally, that maybe he lost consciousness, stumbled, who knows. And the third, that it was on purpose, that he threw himself on purpose. It is believed that it was this third one because there was no attempt, to land on his feet, to protect his body. He literally, as he threw himself, he fell, That's how he fell, and that's why it was so instantaneous. Many people compared him with others who have fallen from higher floors and remained unharmed, questioning why it happened to him. Because maybe those people dodged the blows, protected part of their body, It's different. In his case, it wasn't like that. It was all at once. So I'm telling you, I'm not here. I'm not a cop, Oh, I'm not saying that nobody did it or something like that, because I really don't know. But it's an explanation that makes a lot of sense, especially knowing that he had previously attempted on his life, not doing what he did now, but doing other things. But at that moment, there were people, that moment was different, and this one unfortunately was automatic. There was no time to even take him to a hospital or anything like that to cure him, and knowing that he had consumed very strong things, it makes a lot of sense. Everything. I think he might have even lost consciousness because they were very strong substances. And unfortunately that happened, and he didn't even have time to protect his body. Also, as I explained in this video, I'm not assuming anything. I'm just giving you the information. And now more data is coming out. But how hard this year was being for him in general, I feel that since 2018, that was a pretty tough year for him. Well, it started to be very difficult years for him because, well, One Direction ended. He then, in 2016, released a solo song. That song did super well. He had his record label. He was very happy, but then his career started to fall. His songs were no longer hitting. He started to become a joke on the internet. Like, people didn't take him seriously. And he himself sometimes talked about how he judged himself, you know. He compared himself to his other One Direction bandmates as if he was the one who had achieved the least. Also, in other interviews, he spoke very well of himself, you know. He would sometimes say he was doing great, but other times when he felt comfortable, he would share the sad parts too. It's normal one as a human being always compares, and more being in a situation like this where you see your former group mates giving it their all, achieving things maybe not all in music, but you know, in their personal things, in their personal life, being someone. And he lost, you know? So lost in substances that he can't find himself, let alone a path in his musical career, you know? And well, now it was known that his record label had left him days before, you know? Days before his record label had already closed. The contracts had said, we've come this far, you and I, because, well, his music career was not giving any fruit to the record label, so the record label abandoned him, which must have been a super hard blow for him because, well, that's not easy and it's not the same. You in your head saying like that, oh, I'm not being a good singer, to literally your record label tells you, you know, like your music career is being a failure. That obviously is not easy. Also, it is known that, well, everyone on the internet was bullying him. On the internet, everyone was criticizing him. And, well, obviously not everyone, but I did not see a good video. You know, before this happened to Liam, I had not seen a good video of someone defending Liam, speaking well of Liam. Everyone was criticizing him for things he said in some interview, for attitudes he had publicly, you know, for many things of him, dude. What's up with the cancellation of Liam Payne? Again, they are massively cancelling Liam Payne, a new controversy with One Direction. Also, many fans started to show their dissatisfaction with him, covering his name, his face, toys of him, etc. And also, the strongest was from his ex-girlfriend, because his ex-girlfriend came out to expose him, telling the ordeal it was
their relationship.
It's not just during the relationship, but after the relationship, because she said that even when the relationship ended, he kept looking for her and looking for her. He created new emails and all that to keep writing to her, to keep calling her. And then when he got tired of that, he started calling her mom so that the girl would communicate with him. I think she even wrote a book. After that, well, some witnesses also came out. Like ex-One Direction fans who told inappropriate things that he did, like taking advantage of being famous to do certain things. And well, all that was coming out, so people were attacking him too much. Even I had been asked too much to make a video talking about the fall of Liam Payne. Well, you know, about the fall of Liam Payne's career, everyone was telling me like, well, not everyone, oh well. 4 people? No, but many people were writing to me asking me to please talk about everything that was happening with Liam Payne, about why they were canceling him, And I remember that at one point I did think about doing it. I even saved information, some videos, but then I was thinking about it and I couldn't because One Direction was a big part of my life. To this day, many of my favorite songs are One Direction songs, and I loved all the boys equally. To me, one seemed cuter than the other, but in the end, you have affection for all of them, and I couldn't. My heart wouldn't allow it. I felt like I was betraying my 12-year-old self, even though now that I was getting informed. For this video, I did discover that the accusations from his ex-girlfriend were very strong against him. So yes, all of that together was already being too much for him. Besides that, also, people made him feel like a failure. Everyone always reminded him every day of his life that he was a failure. In music, that from One Direction, he was the one who was doing the worst. Even physically, people were criticizing him because I think he had a surgery. I don't know if he had his cheeks removed or something like that, Susanna, but his face looked very thin. Another very sad thing is that he openly, when he was already okay, right? That one already knows that, okay. When he had recovered, he emerged to speak. That he suffers from depression, and that, well, for him, obviously everything was very difficult, that from a very young age, he drank alcohol to also evade a bit of reality. Also, the guys in One Direction didn't have it easy at all. They lived a not at all easy. Not at all easy. They lived a very, very rushed life. In the end, they ended up working, the poor guys, since they started. It was an album every year. They released an album. And while they were releasing that album, they were on tour. But while they were on tour, they were preparing the next album. And that is a huge job. So the poor guys were like that, like that, like that. And Liam, he himself said that what he did in those years was drink a lot of alcohol because his team locked them in their hotel room. And all he did was drink from the minibar. Well, yes, when he was okay, it makes me very sad to see that kind of thing. You know, him saying that he's okay. But, well, when he was okay, he also talked a lot about the relapses, that he used to relapse when, I don't know, he read hate comments or things that he felt identified, you know, that someone told him your career is shit. And he said it's true. And then he felt bad and relapsed again. I even saw a story that he had uploaded to Snapchat. You know, I saw it on TikTok or someone re-uploaded it. But well, a story that he had uploaded to Snapchat saying that he felt very bad, like all this bullying that they were doing to him on the internet was affecting him too much, you know, like he didn't even feel in his reality anymore, you know, he felt bad. And
it's truly sad how things turned out in the end.
knowing how things ended and that he spent these last times feeling super bad. And continuing to talk about the case, they are now investigating his bodyguard, well, the people who were with him in those last moments, which was his bodyguard, his representative, or his agent. Well, I think it was the representative and also two girls who went to his room, but they went to his room, you know? Two girls from the nightlife, you know what I mean? But they testified and said that they were not with him at that moment when that happened. I think they saw him about 2 hours before that happened. Even his bodyguard was not with him. His representative was not with him either. According to him, he was alone in the room, which is really sad. Knowing today that he says that for him, the worst thing in life is to be alone in a hotel room. And
knowing that his last moments of life
we're alone in a hotel room, remembering nostalgic moments because his last stories were those. Well, they were things from the past, you know? He likely spent his final moments on the phone recalling his past life, a time when he was happy and successful. This makes me... And he also leaves thinking that people hate him, that he's a failure, and that's very sad, you know? Just thinking about that is very sad. So for me, the conclusion of all this, I will not be talking about conspiracy theories in this video because there are many people who think that someone pushed him or that someone participated in that. I will not be talking about that because there is no evidence to that effect. And I also don't want to be making assumptions in such a serious matter, you know? People have a lot of opinions on the internet. Also, I want to emphasize that mental health is crucial. Take care of your own mental well-being and those around you. Even former One Direction members are likely struggling with this right now, you know? It's not their fault, nor is it the ex-girlfriend's fault, you know? It's not their fault. That happened to Liam, but I'm sure they feel bad and a little mentally burdened to say, maybe knowing that he was mentally struggling, that he was depressed, that he felt bad, I didn't help him, you know? We never met again. That Liam's dream was for One Direction to meet again and go on tour, and well, that never happened. I'm sure that what they would want right now is that, to see Liam one last time, to tell him how much they loved him, and also that's why I want to tell you to tell your family members that you love them, your loved ones, that you love them. If you have any family member, someone close or even distant who you know is suffering from something mental, be there for that person, because you really never know what's going on in someone's mind. You can see someone very happy, but you really never know what's going on with that person. And I stress, I'm not blaming any member of One Direction. I just used it as an example because it's logical. It's something anyone might experience, a little bit of guilt, but they don't deserve hate because clearly they didn't do anything wrong, you know? Fighting with friends or family members and sudden tragedies are a part of life that can happen to anyone. They are not to blame for these occurrences that we all may face.
Of anything.
Another thing is that if you consume any kind of substance, please look at how all these people end up, you know? Look at how Liam ended up, but not only Liam, all the famous people, not famous that one sees, everyone ends up badly, not always as tragically as him, but they end up badly, you know, that never leads you to anything good. So yes, this is all for this video. If you made it this far, you are a true bitch. Yes, you are. comment me an orange heart to know that you made it to this point of the video and say that I was a true bitch. And I really want to thank you for watching this video. This video was much more serious than the videos I usually make, but it is a very serious and very sad topic. Really, this makes me too sad. And I really hope that Liam rests in peace and that if all this exists in the beyond and all this, there can be the love that people have for him, that at least his soul may go in peace and that he is seeing that people do love him, So yes, kisses on the Anastasio to everyone. I love you.